Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. New Life Live is dedicated to transforming lives one at a time thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Well, Larry Sonnenberg sitting in for Steve Arterburn today, so we're glad you're listening. In studio here, Dr. Jill Hubbard is with me.
Hello, Larry.
And somebody whispering on
Yes, I know.
over in Ohio.
Oh, someone else is here too.
I think that might be Becky Brown. Am I right?
It's me. It's me.
Well, I'm so glad you're both here. You know, we're coming up on the holidays, and it can be especially challenging for those in recovery to deal with the holidays. We can talk about that a little bit, but I'm saying that in part because we want to help. And we have a tip sheet, we call it. It's 5 tips for working your recovery during the holidays. And all you have to do is call 800-NEW-LIFE, 639-5433, and ask for that.
Because you don't want to take a holiday
from
working your recovery, right?
That's
and
right.
The temptation is often there.
Yep. Becky, you have some things to say about life recovery.
It's also really challenging because the time of the year where we are celebrating and people are drinking and, but also there's a lot of memories that come along with the holidays. And so if part of your addiction struggle is because of, broken relationships or difficulties, this just highlights it. Not to mention the fact that we're all so overworked during this month. It's the end of the year and you've got all the presents and all that kind of stuff. A lot of people just check out. We know in recovery, connection is key. And so, we have life recovery groups all across the country, and our fabulous coworker, Terry, will be able to connect you with a group in your area so that you can have that community and begin to work on making things better for your life. And it may not happen by Christmas. It might not, all get together by Christmas. But
for some people,
a good way to start.
Yeah, for some people, you almost need to double down on your recovery, right? And for everyone, I think it's checking those expectations, right? Not letting idealism and ideas of what you wish you had kind of influence, but celebrating what is and what's good about this time of year as well.
And, we have Life Recovery Today TV that you can watch on our YouTube channel. Some of you are watching on YouTube right now, and you can, see that we have the whole library there. We've been interviewing folks who have worked recovery and are leading recovery across this country and making a difference in their lives and the people that they serve. So, we have help for you. You can call us, 800-NEW-LIFE, and we've got all kinds of ways to help you through the holidays.
And we would ask that you might help us a little bit through the holidays by making a gift to New Life. I've discovered that tax deductions on your tax returns are a big motivation for a lot of people.
Yeah, true.
And a lot of people just give once a year. They just save it and give it in December. If you're one of those people or you're thinking about what to give and making an extra gift, please consider New Life. And when you do, we would like to send you 100-day, it's a 100-day devotional, 100 Days to Freedom from Depression. And I have a feeling you want to say something about that too, Becky.
Well, the title is saying depression, but literally the way that this book is put together, it's talking about every aspect of depression. And some people live with it in a deep way, but others, it covers things like grief, anger,
just being down.
The ways that we get stuck. Absolutely. It's a great resource. There's scripture, there's quotes. Anyone can benefit from this book, 100 Days of Freedom from Depression. Give us a call and make a donation. It might be a good Christmas gift, maybe.
Yeah.
For yourself.
We have quite a few people waiting to talk to the two of you more than me. But
Larry, they're all calling for you.
Oh, I know better than that.
They want to talk to you, Larry.
No, we got him going, Becky.
Goodness. Okay, we'll be back right after this and take your calls.
It had become very apparent that some of the things I was involved with were taking over my life.
In today's world, men are barraged with inappropriate content and images all day, every day. Some say that certain behaviors are just no big deal. It's just part of being a guy. But it's simply not true. It's a battleground for every man, and the opportunities to fail are everywhere. New Life's Every Man's Battle Workshop can help.
After 7 years, just one weekend, a completely changed man.
For over 20 years, New Life Ministries has been helping men regain their integrity and purity through their one-of-a-kind Every Man's Battle Workshop.
He said, I think this is something that every man should go to. Married, dating, it was definitely life-changing.
Now the workshop is coming to Washington, D.C., January 7th through the 9th. Don't wait for him to call. To find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go to newlife.com. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Okay, we're back, and we're going to go straight to the phones. We are going to talk with Margo, and Margo is listening in Waco, Texas on Sirius XM. Hi, Margo. How can we help you?
Hi, Larry. I'll talk to you too.
Thank you.
Larry.
Okay, talk away.
Okay. Well, I told the screener that I'm not going to be a crybaby, but I might.
It's okay.
Okay. So instead of going straight to my question, I'm just going to say, Jill, if I could have you give me a hug right now, I would.
Oh,
Margo, if I could, I would.
long distance.
Yeah.
I'll make her give me one instead.
So just a quick background so I can get to my question. So I'm a survivor of sexual abuse. I was raped in college, and I dated a lot of different people, but I fell in love with a guy from my hometown, and everyone thought, she's never going to marry someone from our hometown, but I did, and we've been married for 24 years. And according to him, he has to walk on eggshells. I have explosive anger, which I can when I feel like I'm being hurt or someone's hurting someone in my family. I'm very protective. And I have learned to cope with my fear and all those things with alcohol. And I am in Celebrate Recovery.
Good.
And I'm working on that. And but I lost my dad in June. And I lost my sister in October.
Oh my
sorry.
gosh.
And then my husband told me on New Year's Eve that he wanted a divorce.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah. It's just a lot.
That's a lot.
2020 just was so horrible on so many people.
Yeah.
My mom was living with us. She had cancer, and she was.
Oh my gosh.
I was having to sleep with her because, getting up in the middle of the night and all that kind of stuff. I had to sleep with her. So my husband very generously went to the game room basically and slept up there so I could help my mom. And he just sat up there, and I think he just talked himself into something. But whether he talked himself into something or not is beside the point. The point is that I do have those qualities that he talked about. And he says that there's no one else, which I do. Part of me believes and part of me doesn't. But I never thought I'd be divorced, and I certainly never thought I would be divorced with someone walking out just saying, "It's just you."
Yeah. Ouch.
And we haven't had physical or emotional connection for quite some time, and it's not because of me; it is because of him. He doesn't want it, and he tells me I deserve someone that can love me like a husband should.
So, Margo, if you had to put it as a question, what would your question be?
My question would be, do I just let him go and work on myself and just focus on my daughter and focus on myself, or do I? Gosh, Larry, I have been so mean to him on text messages.
Oh.
I just have wanted to just.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
I haven't wanted to do anything mean. I've just wanted so badly for him to understand the pain that I'm in, and how can he do this to me now?
Okay. Jill and Becky have some words for you.
You've worked what? Say that real quick.
I've worked so hard. I work 2 full-time jobs. I take care of our children. We took in a foster child.
Oh my gosh.
But
Margo, what have you done?
All the time.
What have you done? Oh, he travels a lot too?
All the time.
Okay.
So I'm the total primary caregiver for everybody, right down to the plants.
Yeah. Margo, what have you done to work on yourself? I hear you doing a lot for everyone, and the pressure is great, along with a history of things and so many losses. Where are you getting support? Because your husband is a bit checked out.
Oh, you're so polite.
Yes, I know I'm being polite. Okay.
He's so polite. He's completely checked out.
Right.
Oh yeah, we've already gone through mediation and all that, so it's almost at the end.
Okay, so because it was last New Year's Eve, and so now a lot has happened. Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
I have joined Celebrate Recovery. I listen to you guys every day. I've read so much on the dance with anger and
I love that.
Just different types of stuff. But I have learned through this that it was just easier to focus on everybody else than me.
Mm-hmm.
It was, even though it was so much more work and it was so much more time, it was just easier, because when I focus on me, it's exactly what y'all are probably expecting me to say. It hurts.
Yeah. Right. And underneath
Margo,
all that anger, is all that hurt.
Exactly. And
he
acknowledges that.
Okay.
He's been really good about that. He hasn't, through all of this, he has never responded on a text message with anything other than, I don't think that's 100% true. I hope you have a good day. I'm praying for you.
Mm-hmm.
And so even though he's checked out, he's still that sweet guy.
Mm-hmm.
Becky,
Margo,
you were going to say something.
Do you have a counselor that you work with?
I do every week. Yeah. And is
it the same one that you've had through this whole entire thing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The reason why I asked that is because you've got grief.
Yeah.
You've got
Trauma.
complex trauma. And so I am pro-counselor. I am one. I think they're great people. But I do think that sometimes if we've been with the same one for the longer time, we might need a little bit different help. Not better. I'm not saying it's better. It's different. And I'm just wondering, because you've had so many things one right after the other just recently, there is a lot going on inside of you. And I think it's more important to focus on your own healing at this point than to wonder what to do about him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm really starting to realize that. Sorry, that's my car.
Well,
I'm really starting to realize that it's more important, because I have a daughter. I have a teenage daughter, and I have to hold for her. And I haven't been.
Mm-hmm. Well, and
tells me that I have to stop crying. I have to stop crying, and I'm really trying.
It's okay.
But Margo, that's the pain. That's what I'm hearing. And I think in the times when you're not crying, you're talking about your husband, your ex-husband. And we do that a lot, because if we can focus on things that are not our pain, it takes us out of our pain.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to go deep into that pain and get a place where it's safe, where you can feel that and that you can begin to heal that. And and it takes specific help too. I just think sometimes when because you have a lot, and then a teenage daughter on top of that. I mean, Jill and I both have raised teenage daughters, and that in and of itself can be traumatic.
It is, yeah.
I'm just saying. But I just really want to encourage you to get your own health and wellness focused on right now.
Becky, that makes a statement to your husband, because part of what has transpired here, Margo, regardless of the legitimacy of all of your hurt, is that it gets co-created. And it sounds like your husband can understand your hurt, but he can't live with the aftermath of it.
Right.
Now, he has his own stuff because he's been more detached. And so probably, for some people, anything is too much, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so, but so this has been, like I said, co-created here. And so it's important to look at all of that. And as you get the help and get things manageable, he may also notice the girl he fell in love with. And Becky, I have a slightly different take in terms of therapists. I think if you feel connected to your therapist and you feel like there's a good exchange, she really hears you, then that consistent help, I think, is really important. And sometimes, you've been doing consistently once a week, but sometimes for periods of time, we need more than once a week. Sometimes we need to go a couple of times a week to really feel the containment and allow ourselves to go deeper. And so,
maybe there's an extra. Maybe, Jill, I agree with you, and maybe there's an extra.
Well, I think it's adding in the adjunctive stuff, the CR groups. Maybe you go to one of our workshops, emotional freedom.
I'm thinking of two things, emotional freedom. And Jill, you made a comment, if he starts to see her as he once saw her, maybe there would be hope.
Right.
And if that experience happens, you two need to go to the intimacy and marriage workshop.
Right, exactly. So with him, because you guys are at a point where you're moving away from him, he's not the person that you unload on anymore. Right? And remember, I always say, we women, we try to fix things by telling our significant others everything that's wrong. Well,
exactly.
Right? You need to tell your therapist. You need to tell friends. You don't now tell him everything that's wrong. Right? Yeah. Because he's out the door.
You're right.
Right?
Yeah, and yes, and my counselor is telling me the cross between what you and Becky are saying. She's like, you know what? I've been with you through so much, and I know him too. I can't give you objective advice anymore because now she's So it's a cross between the two.
I can happens. I'm glad that she said that, Margo.
Yeah, that's really good.
Counselor.
I encourage people all the time when you're with your counselor, you need to talk as much as they do. Like Jill, don't you want to hear from your clients, this is how I feel or this is what I'm struggling with. But we want to know, and I'm so thankful, Margo, you have a good counselor that would say, I've lost my objectivity. Objectivity is gold when it comes to therapy. And so she may be able to help you make that transition.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, that's just affirmation because I was holding on saying, no, you can help me. And but that's affirmation. So thank you for that, ladies.
Margo.
I still want to hug Jill.
Anytime, Margo.
I appreciate you guys. God bless y'all. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for the call. We're going to send you a book. Is there a book you've heard us
talk about? Healing is a Choice.
Okay. That's coming your way, Margo. Thank you for the call. All right. Well, I tell you what. Let me just get my act together. Okay, we're going to go to another call, get the question in before we go to a break, I hope. We're going to talk to Jeff. Jeff is in Annapolis, Maryland, listens on WAVA. Hello, Jeff. How can we help you?
Basically, back in 2010, I started having suicidal ideations leading up to 2019. They were pretty frequent. I've been to many hospitals. But I'm trying to build a better relationship with my brother. And I'm currently in a residential rehabilitation court-ordered because of a psychotic breakdown I had.
Okay.
And that ends in August of 2022. And he's talking, I'll be able to come home to our parents, the house my parents left us, but he wants me to be out of the house while he's not home.
Okay. So your question is just how to deal with that. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Becky and Joe will talk about that right after the break. I just want to remind folks that Sunday is the last day to order items from our online store and have them arrive by Christmas. So using your regular UPS ground shipment. So go online, order the books. If you want to order other fun things that we don't have in our store, go to smile.amazon.com and select New Life in Lake Forest.
For most of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit it's addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have Christ-centered partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again.
You seem to be able to get to the crux of a problem quickly.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for you and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-639-5433.
We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Okay, we're back. We're talking with Jeff, and Jeff has had some suicidal thoughts. He's in inpatient treatment, and he'll be getting out in August. And when he does, his brother would like him to not be at the home that they inherited from their parents.
Or not.
When
he's
there.
allowing
when
him
he's
to.
There, yeah. So what do you guys think? Where do we go first? Becky?
Well, my question, Jeff, is what kind of work are you doing while you're in the treatment center?
I'm going to therapy, going to counseling. I go to a day program. And due to my disability because of my back, I haven't been working.
Okay.
I have rods in my back.
Are you saying that you're in outpatient, Jeff? Like you're doing a day program, you don't spend the night there?
I'm in a psychiatric rehabilitation program. It's an RRP residential through the court system.
Okay, great. Okay. And my other thought was, is the therapy and the group process helping you so far? Like, do you feel like you're gaining some insight and some stability through that process?
Yes.
Are you still having suicidal thoughts?
Not really. Occasionally I would have thoughts. Like a couple months ago, the government screwed up the the cash card situation to where the housing facility takes all of our money, but the government gives us like $82 a month, and they had screwed that up.
So it's frustrating, and it feels overwhelming. And so
when you get to, go ahead, Becky. Sorry.
So then the go-to is that I just want to end it all because of this, right?
Yeah.
There's a book, I can't remember the name exactly, but the woman who wrote it was a neuroscientist who experienced suicidal ideation for a repeated long time. And she came up with this phrase that said, suicide is not a feeling, it's an action. And I'm thinking or I'm feeling this, and I can do that. So what you're doing is you're switching from suicide thoughts being the answer to understanding what the feeling is that you're having at the moment that those thoughts come up. I'm frustrated, I'm angry, I'm scared, I'm sad, I'm overwhelmed. You can do some work on those feelings so that that's not the thing that's driving you. And I think, Jeff, my quick answer would be you have some great opportunities this next year to get some really good healing and to get really healthy before you get out again, where you can have conversations with your brother about what that future looks like. But I wouldn't focus too much on when you get out and what he's going to allow or not allow at this point. You've got some work and some healing to do before then. But I think it's great potential.
Yeah, that is a long way off, and he's already setting up some boundaries, and I'm assuming, Jeff, that that's based on past history. And
yes.
Right. And so what Becky's proposing is that you really do some work and you own part of your history, right? Or all of your history. You own what you need to own with your brother so that he can see a difference in you and some trust can be reestablished there. So that when that point comes, there may be some adjusting then of his boundaries with you.
Okay.
And I would encourage you, Jeff, if they have any recovery groups in the facility, that you participate in that. And even if you don't have an addiction, recovery is really for everyone, and it'll give you some really great structure in your own healing process. And I just think that that would be the best way to move forward.
They don't.
They don't have recovery groups. Do they allow you to go to recovery groups?
As long as it's between, basically, I'd have to go out at 10 o'clock in the morning, be back by like 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, there's plenty.
Doable.
You know what? And if you hold on, Jeff, we will connect you with our staff that can find you a life recovery group in your area. And that may be a good next step because it really is going to make a difference. You have a whole year to do some really deep healing and get some good rhythm into your life so that when you get out, there is a great hope and a great future for you.
And to help along those lines, we will send you a Life Recovery Bible.
I love that. Thank you.
So that
sounds good.
That can help in the whole recovery process. But thanks for your call, Jeff. And I hope you found some help here and hope that things are restored better than you ever thought they would be.
Well, and even if Jeff can attend the Emotional Freedom Workshop in January, that could be
that would be great.
Online. That's a great idea.
Every once in a while I come up with
it.
Yeah, you do. We'll have you back another day, Becky.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, good. I did it.
Okay. We still have some calls that we need to take. We have workshops coming up. I just want to remind folks that Emotional Freedom Workshop. It's one day. It's online. Steve Arterburn and Chris Williams. And it's exceptional. And if you book it now, you'll get a $100 discount. So
maybe it's your Christmas present to yourself.
There you go.
Hey, that's a great idea.
I love that. And there are other workshops. We always have Every Man's Battle. That's coming up January 7th to 9th in Washington, D.C. And we've got a couple in February coming up. We'll tell you about those later. But you're listening to New Life Live. You've got two of the wisest people on the planet sitting here talking to you, and Jill and Becky. And we'll be back right after this. Take your call.
It had become very apparent that some of the things I was involved with were taking over my life.
In today's world, men are barraged with inappropriate content and images all day, every day. Some say that certain behaviors are just no big deal. It's just part of being a guy. But it's simply not true. It's a battleground for every man, and the opportunities to fail are everywhere. New Life's Every Man's Battle Workshop can help.
After 7 years, just one weekend, a completely changed man.
For over 20 years, New Life Ministries has been helping men regain their integrity and purity through their one-of-a-kind Every Man's Battle Workshop.
He said, I think this is something that every man should go to. Married, dating, it was definitely life-changing.
Now the workshop is coming to Washington, D.C., January 7th through the 9th. Don't wait for him to call. To find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go to newlife.com. 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I did go to Take Your Life Back. That's why I continue to support the ministry with the hope that not only am I helping my own situation, that I'm helping others as well.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the New Life member thank you gift of the New Life Journal, 100 Days of Peace, 7 Ways to Choose Healing, Growth Has No Boundaries, a Restoration Bible, and a New Life grocery tote to hold it all. Plus, there are ongoing benefits, like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Okay, we're back. And before we go to call, I want to tell you about a phone call I had yesterday. There's a good friend of New Life. He and his wife have been really faithful supporters through the years. And he called last year because he was struggling. He was hurting. He was out to the point of tears because his son had a real struggle with his marriage. It was on the rocks. And he felt helpless, and his son was really hurting. So he asked me to call his son, and I did, and we had some nice discussions over a couple of weeks. But from the first call on, we got him a counselor. And he'd been going to the counselor, and so we checked in for a while. I lost a little bit of touch with him, called his dad a couple of times, wasn't real optimistic. But then the most recent call, his dad said, I want to bring you up to date. In June, his wife went through with the divorce, and it's final. And we were sad with that, and we asked God why were you quiet, why didn't you answer our prayers and all that. But I know that God is in control, and I know he's a God of grace and mercy, and we're trusting him, but it's hard. And then he said, my son is doing amazingly well. He's seeing this counselor every week. He's seeing his pastor one time a week. And he has found a lady friend. And this is so different, he said. Their relationship is not intense. It's relaxed. And we're hopeful that this could go somewhere. But my son's demeanor is so different. And it's so encouraging. And I can't tell you how grateful we are to New Life. You guys are helpful. You believe in what you do. When I hear you on the radio, I can tell you all believe in what you're doing and you're passionate about it. And I love that. And so, folks, I just want you to know that a couple of things. If you are hurting and you don't understand why God is allowing something to happen or not stepping in and changing it, there's still hope. Sometimes you go through the valley of death experience, but there's hope, and New Life is here to help you, and we want to do that, and that's why we seek your support financially, because we want to have these phone calls, we want to have this radio program, we want to have our workshops, we want to have the resources we offer, and we want your life to be different because God wants that.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to...
And Larry, sometimes it's not the why questions. Why, God, am I in this situation? Why is this happening to me? But it's the how. Lord, how do I get through it? Help me,
how
right?
do I respond? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. That's what we have more control over.
So if you would make a gift, it's coming up on year end. And year end is, December is a generous month typically. And if you could include New Life in your generous giving, it'll make a difference. We sense God's hand on this ministry like never before. And I'd love for you to be a part of that or continue. You can become a Club New Life member. You can just make a simple gift. You can make a simple big gift. You could donate stock. There's a lot of ways to give. And I want to thank you in advance, and I want to thank everybody who has been giving. And with that, I think we should go back to the phone calls. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk to Shante. Shante is in Bloomfield, New Jersey, listens out of Philadelphia, WFIL. How are you, Shante? How can we help you?
I'm doing very good. I just want to say thank you for giving me this opportunity, because I'm in a situation that's been weighing so heavy on my heart, so heavy on my mind, and I'm just grateful for this opportunity. So I am originally from Bloomfield, New Jersey. I lived with my parents before I was kicked out.
Ooh.
And so I moved out of state to PA to finish my nursing degree. So I was kicked out because there's been tension in my family. I consider myself a baby in Christ, so I just recently converted to Christianity. And I grew up in a Christian household. However, politics has been something that has been something that's been very prominent in our household. And I find that ever since I reestablished my relationship with Christ, there's certain political ideologies that I don't adhere to. However, my parents do, and this has caused problems, for over a year. And we've been having arguments, bad arguments, name-calling. Not that I name-called my parents, but they were name-calling me. They threatened me. And I feel like this one situation that caused me to leave the house. So my parents are vaccinated. My brother is vaccinated. I refused to get vaccinated. And this was not a political motivated choice. This was a conviction. I prayed about it. And I just couldn't do it. And this has caused resentment from my family, from my parents. Not really my brother, although he falls in the same political spectrum with my parents. He's not. We haven't really had bad arguments that caused us not to be on speaking terms, but this has caused resentment from my parents.
We're getting the picture. Tell us what your question would be.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, how can I reconnect or establish a healthy relationship with my parents, and not only with my parents, also a guy that I'm dating. We're having a similar experience also. How can I establish a healthy relationship or reconnect with my parents, and still, I guess, stand strong with my values and my beliefs as a Christian?
Good question.
Shante, can you just tell me how old you are?
I am 23.
You're 23. Okay, so you were living at home, and then when they kicked you out, then you've gone to school now.
Yes.
Correct? Okay.
I was already at school living with them.
Okay, you were going to school, living with them, and they kicked you out.
I want to give a real short answer, then let Jill and Becky take it away. I've got two brothers. I've got 4 living brothers right now. 2 of those brothers are absolute opposite end of the spectrum politically than I do. We get along wonderfully because we won't talk. We won't talk politics. We just agreed it's not open for discussion, and sometimes the calls are short, but that's what we do. But
Right. Well, and I think
that's the best answer too.
Yeah, but I think that's kind of a newer phenomenon that people are coming to realize, right? I mean, maybe in the past there's been sensitivity, but now more than ever before, I think we are having to take that stand because people are so polarized. And Shante, I wanted to know your age because you are at that age where kids are individuating from families and needing to make things their own. And it's a time of really kind of exploring what you do think and what you do believe. And I think for parents, it can be really difficult because of the idea of, well, that's not how I raised you, right? We raised you. How can you reject what we've taught you, which translates into how can you reject us? And I think your parents are really reacting to the fact that what went wrong, even though nothing went wrong, right? You are just trying to think for yourself. And for some people, they leave parents' values completely, and others leave some of it and come back to some of it.
what do you think about the dating side? That's a little different than the parents. 'Cause you're
Well, I have a perspective. I think that, years ago, it wasn't polite to talk about religious beliefs, politics, and all that kind of stuff. We were looking for ways to connect. And just like you just said, Jill, that Shante, you're in a new time of your life where you're beginning to make decisions about what you believe, how your values are going to play out in your life, and those are very important things. People have been doing that for centuries, literally as long as men and women have been on the earth. But what we've begun to do is we've begun to square off. And we're real certain about what we believe, which is great on one level, but we're doing it in defense as opposed to just holding those beliefs close and living out our beliefs as opposed to beating everybody over the head with them. And that plays out in a lot of different ways.
Right.
And I think if your goal, Shante, is to be reconnected with your family, you're going to have to take a step of surrender. What we talk about this in recovery is, I'm sorry for how I reacted or behaved. I really want to have a relationship with you. And then you go to what Larry, you and your brothers have done. We're just not going to talk about that. We're going to find the places that we connect and build a strong relationship that can withhold all of our differences, because there's lots of them.
Yeah, there are. Shante, we're going to come up on a break. We'll close this call out when we come back and take another call. Thank you for your call. We'll be back right after this.
I came into this thinking that my husband was the cause of many of our issues.
The New Life Intimacy and Marriage Workshop is coming to Southern California February 11th to the 13th.
But after learning about our attachment styles, I understood how our past hurts were playing into our present problems.
Join Steve Arterburn.
It's been a dream of mine for a long time to help people to grow more intimately together, and we believe that everybody has room to grow in the intimacy level of their life.
And Mylan and Kay Yurkovich.
We help couples understand how their attachment style is sabotaging their current relationship. And then we teach them how to create comfort in a relationship.
And New Life's group counselors will help you focus on the area that will benefit your marriage most. To register or to find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Here at this workshop, we had our first ever conversation without yelling, blaming, and accusing.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addictions, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
You guys are awesome. You're a blessing to America.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in the biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first step toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, please call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Okay, we're back. And Jill has a couple of comments for Shante.
Yes, Shante, first of all, at 23, if you have lived home continuously, it was probably a good time for you to have an experience outside of your house. In mending things with your parents, I might take a more humble approach and let them know that you are exploring, even if you feel perfectly convicted, you are exploring your thoughts and your values and your ideas, and that you hope that they know that it is not a rejection of them, and that you really value how you were raised and the support they've given you, and that this is just a time for you to try to figure out and make some things your own, and even give them, maybe I'm making a mistake, and I'll realize that, but I'm still in process. And so this is just what I'm thinking and feeling today that makes sense to me. And I hope that you can allow me the time to develop and grow, and I haven't landed yet in a sense. And then can we lovingly just maybe refrain from the conversation, since it seems to stir up a lot, and I don't want to bring up strife in the family. With a dating relationship, Shante, if you're having those problems, and I don't know if you were dating this person before and then had a change of heart in terms of your ideas, but sometimes that makes it difficult in a dating relationship when someone is so opposed to how you think. And so you either have to find a way to respect and hear each other and be willing to listen and have,
agree to disagree.
healthy dialogue about it. Or if it's too conflictual, this may not be the relationship for you.
Yeah. Okay, Shante, Becky, you're the book guru. What should we send her?
Well, I thought about that after we talked to her, and I think Take Your Life Back could be very helpful, because it talks about working your side of the street.
Yeah.
And,
right.
That's what we're kind of talking about.
And it talks about responding and not reacting.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Coming your way, Shante. Kathy, Philadelphia, listens on WBYN out of Boyertown. Hello. How are you? How can we help you today?
Hi. I'm okay. Thank you so much for taking my call.
You're welcome.
I'm in a little bit of a funk right now. I've recently separated from my husband of 9 years. I am a recovering alcoholic of 23 years.
Congratulations.
And my husband has been drinking. Thank you. He's been drinking for about the past 7 years. First 2 years of our marriage, he showed me this sober man, but then alcohol snuck back in, and it progressively got worse and worse, the verbal and emotional abuse, and I just couldn't take it anymore, and I left, hoping that he would wake up and, I'm so sorry, I'll quit drinking, I'll go to rehab, but he didn't. He went and found another woman in a short time. But recently, like yesterday and today, he's calling me saying, I'm so remorseful, I'm so sorry, I need help. I need help. And I told him, you can go to a rehab, there's help out there, but he's a business owner, and he just can't let go enough to say 30 days can save my life and my marriage. How can I be supportive to him? How can I support him? I'm not willing to go back home without sobriety, which is what he just keeps demanding me to do. But I love him, and I want the best for him. But I don't know.
And
I don't know what to say.
Kathy, you sound very sober, which is awesome. That's your 20 years speaking right there. You know he's in pain, and you know that, of course, he wants you to come home because that will end his pain. It won't end his drinking,
a fix.
But it'll end his pain. And it'll probably just start yours up. But I think, you have to be able to explain to him, which you probably already have, this is what I'm willing to do. I do love you. I do care for you. And I want you sober. I want you in recovery. And, maybe if he wants to go to a meeting with you or something, I don't know if that would be
right. Like, what is he willing to do?
Right.
Well, he was willing to quit drinking Monday through Thursday or Sunday through Thursday.
He's
That's
bargaining
what
with
he's
you.
willing to do. And knowing what I know about the ism, that's not going to,
No, it's not going to work.
Right.
Take him right back there.
Right.
I've seen it too many times. Like, it's not going to work. And he just is he's trying to force me to believe that he can be a social drinker.
Well, of course.
When I've known him for 40 years, and he never has been.
Well, and Kathy, did you explain to him that not drinking Monday through Thursday isn't going to work?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you know this cycle.
Wanting to compromise.
Well,
Right,
and it's so funny. It's not like he's talking to a newbie. I mean, you understand this stuff, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right, and that's why you
Kathy,
can't get away with it, because I've been around it too long.
I think that is so amazing. I love that you have grown so much and you've healed so much. Your sobriety is solid, and at the same time, you love him, and you want the same for him. And so it is those ongoing boundaries and conversations, knowing that it may not go the way you want it to go.
Right.
But to hold steady on that.
Firm but loving.
Support for you.
Firm but loving. Really, like what Becky said, affirm that you love him. You really, more than anything, want to put your marriage together. But that you know beyond a shadow of a doubt, if either of you are drinking, that will get in the way.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And
Right. And I think he might be humble enough finally to hear that. Like, I've been saying that for 2 months.
Yeah.
But he just,
he's,
I can do this. You're not compromising. I'm compromising. I'm not going to drink during the week. I'm giving it up on the week. Why can't you give a little?
All the bargaining.
Right.
So, yes.
Well, and you can, you understand.
My faith and sobriety.
You can understand that sounds like really good to him, right? That he's coming up with all kinds of solutions that could work, right? But you need that solid commitment, just like you want a solid commitment to the relationship.
The other thing that's really important in this is that you have solid connections and support.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know if Al-Anon. I have my AA women. I have so much support.
Well, and let me throw in.
And I want to go back, but
sorry, let me throw in one thing. What if he said he would give up the other woman 5 days a week, and that would be his compromise?
Oh, that's
right?
Good.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the type of commitment you're looking for, not a compromise, right?
I love that analogy. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. Because sometimes it is like it's his other love. It is his other love.
Oh, sure.
It is.
Absolutely.
He's cheating on you with the bottle.
That's a great metaphor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he needs to get to the core. You know this, Kathy. He needs to get to the core of the wound. What is causing him to go towards drinking? And I would wonder if it isn't being in close relationship. You guys have been married a short time. His drinking has increased. And sometimes in intimate relationships like a marriage, they're so close. They know. And Kathy, you've got lots of great insight. So he probably is afraid to be fully known. And
absolutely.
But there's help for that.
Yeah, I
there's
see him self-sabotaging.
Kathy, if we sent a Life Recovery Bible, would he accept that from you as a gift?
He probably would.
Okay.
I personally have a Life Recovery Bible, but he's never opened it up.
Well, now you'll have two, one for each of you. Thanks for calling.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again on Monday for New Life Live.
Hi, thank you for watching New Life Live. You know, New Life Live is a Christian counseling program where we deal with the hard questions about life, relationships, kids, free choice, freedom of will, whatever. It's all right there on New Life Live every day, every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. If you want to call into the live broadcast, you can find the schedule on newlife.com or click the social media link right below. You can see every episode of New Life Live on the New Life YouTube channel. Watch it with a friend, watch it later. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you'll never miss another episode. So if you want to listen on the go, download the app. The link is right below. And I hope if you need some information, if you want to get some help, you'll call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And I'll see you next time.